Ladies and gentlemen, Kim here. Welcome to the daily update. Hope you guys had a good day trading today. Market is down about 1.5% there. On the S&P Nasdaq down 1.2%. Semiconductor 2 down 1.5%. Russell 2000 down 1%. Transports 1.5%. Banks got hit 2.3% negative. Energy down. Biotech down a little bit. Healthcare down. We got home builders down close to 4%. We got retail also down 3%. Utilities held up better, pretty much flat there. Emerging market down 1.5%. Bitcoin is down. Gold, silver miners down a little bit. Dollar up. Oil down heavily. Treasury bond is up a little bit. VIX popped. Let's do it. S&P 500 ETF. Spider. 65-minute chart. Here's so this is where we closed yesterday, and it looks like we didn't see that follow through to the upside after that perfect form hammer candle we have established on the last hour yesterday. We extensively talked about how we need to see a follow through if we want to see the continuation pattern playing out. Well, that follow through never happened. So bears kind of killed that candle right here by gapping it down. You can see this is where we closed. This is where we opened up. And the down gap was quickly filled, as you can see. And then you can see there was a down gap. The down gap was quickly filled on the second hour. And so when the gap gets filled, what's going to happen is it's going to act as resistance, instant resistance. In that process, what happened was, you see my micro-term moving average that has been the biggest fan for the bulls last 3 weeks. Man, it just changed, betraying the bulls right here. And you can see that micro-term moving average, it is no longer supporting the buyers, but rather it's been supporting the bears all throughout the day. First hour, second hour, third hour, fourth hour, fifth hour. Bulls trying to hold on. But you can see on that last hour, all these short-term bulls who jumped in long right here on this gap up and been buying this dip for the last 2-3 days, they're bailing. They're exiting right here. That's what that candle was for, right? Anybody who went long anywhere in this vicinity last 2-3 days, they're exiting in fear and panic. And this is what I talked about, right? If Bayer's gonna bring it, they're gonna have to bring it about 2% down there to impute fear. And they did that. Because you can see some of the sectors, I mean, semiconductors down 2%, banks down 2%, home builders, retail and stuff like that. But Nasdaq and S&P down about 1.4, 1.2 or something like that. It's not going to scare any long-term bulls, but definitely the short-term bulls, they definitely gotten out on the last hour in panic and fear. They're feeling pretty salty about that today. They're hoping for the continuation to the upside after that's kind of gap up. But that's how this market plays. We talked about extensively, and I was emphasizing the fact that this down gap, big bears are hanging out in this vicinity. And if bulls cannot get up and gap up above, and I also talked about it's kind of a risky move. It's a risky move to park right up front, the front door of the bears headquarters, right? Because if they can't fill this gap, if they can't gap it over, if they leave this down gap open, big bears are going to come out and start shooting. And you can see that's kind of what we saw today. So what we can expect going into tomorrow and possibly early next week. So I'm going to zoom out here a little bit, give you guys some of the levels that we can pay attention to together next week. So overall, like a midterm structure is concerned, I have to say for the long term and the midterm bulls, I think this is a nice higher high here, right? This pivot right? That swing high has been reclaimed as far as the structure is concerned. We're no longer lower high, lower low vicinity. We can look at this as a higher high. Only problem is obviously this gap should have been filled to get that job done, and then see that pull back would have been better for the bulls. We're pulling back with this gap not getting filled. Well, these bears, the hangry, angry, hungry bears, these boss bears, they're coming out, and they know that this is only lifeline they have. So I think bulls should have filled that gap, and this was a risky move, parking right up front instead of filling it. So now we're pulling back. We do have potentially that higher high there in the midterm structure of things, but this gap being open, it's looking right now, at least in the short term of things, bears gonna get pretty riled up here. They've been hungry. They've been extremely devastated with what we've seen. All the little small bears are dead, but I wonder if these boss bears are gonna start procreating these little bears to come back out. My short-term moving average is right there. Keep in mind though, we did get slightly below my short-term moving average, but the trajectory of that short-term moving average is more important than price getting slightly below it or above it, right? So we're gonna pay attention to that in the short-term moving average getting, rising like this. In the micro term, benefit of the doubt goes to the sellers, but I think the short to mid term, I think benefit of the doubt still goes to the buyers. As of today, things can change, but for now, and this is a next level of support right here, 449. That's that pivot, right? A little bit of that congestion zone right here in mid to late March. So that's a 449. That's a level to watch. Should there be further decline, 443 and 440? Remember what I said yesterday. If we do see that move happening on that bearish divergence, if we do see my oscillator tanking and the price to follow, to materialize, there's a chance we could see 440s. Worst case scenario, maybe bears want to retest this midterm moving average. That midterm moving average definitely do have impressive resume, because the last time we hit this level, you can see right here, both times, right here, right here, right here, right here, right? So you can see that's an important pivot. So that's currently using at 435. By the time this thing kind of come down here, it will probably get up and meet that price, and that's why I think it's gonna act as strong support. I think that midterm moving average is slightly changing for just slightly. It's still sideways here, right? So I think that's gonna play a role when we get there. But look at this though, that oscillator currently we're not oversold yet. That's the oversold level. We got a little bit of room left. That means we have another day. Bears can come out and start swinging again, start shooting everybody again, especially these boss bears being very angry, killing all of their little creatures running around here. And especially this down gap still open. What you want to do if you're a buyer here, you don't want to see another down gap. If there is some sort of down gap tomorrow, bulls want to fill that right away. Is there any hope for bulls? Any bulls got trapped up here? Well, miracle gap up. To keep that momentum going, you need to see a miracle gap up, getting back above the short-term moving average and the micro-term moving average. Keep in mind right here, you see that there was that kind of a gap up right here. So you see how that short micro-term moving average has been acting as support for quite some time. And then we got below it. And then you can see on the last hour, we saw that, red shaved top and bottom candle, rather strong bearish candle. So it closed the day with the weak note. There's no dip buying activities or nothing. Looked like this is going to come back down. What happened? Buyers gapped it up back above the micro-term moving average. And then what happened to the market? Been up ever since for like 5 days straight. So here, we're now retesting that short-term moving average. What do buyers need to do? Gap up. And then just kind of change that momentum quickly and go back up and fill this gap, the down gap as quickly as possible. And that's, I think, that kind of the only way bulls can, turn things around quickly. So this is a level that bulls want to defend, right? 450, 440. Bulls can defend this level. I can see that bulls can try again to come up and fill this down gap and make a way to the upside. I'm gonna come back for you. We'll reassess the situation. Enjoy your evening. Good trading tomorrow.